Hello, folks. Welcome to Between the Lions. Hey, I was going to call it The Lion Tales, so be thankful for what you got. This is a bi-weekly, bite-sized oral history of the ongoing mission by the musical collective My Soul Among Lions to put all 150 psalms from the Bible to music. This is a really fun podcast. If you haven't listened before, I don't know why you don't just go back to the beginning. I don't know why you're starting here. But if you're starting here, this is just a really fun podcast where we talk about one song from the My Soul Among Lions catalog, and we talk about the creative process, we talk about what the psalm meant to us, and we talk to the people that were involved with making it. In this case, myself, Nathan Alberson, your humble and obedient host, lyricist, contributor, one of the dark overlords of My Soul, or no, not of My Soul Among Lions, but of Warhorn Media, where My Soul Among Lions makes their home. Arguably even darker overlord would be Jake Menzel. I forgot his name. Had a little stroke. Darth Jake. He is a lyricist for My Soul Among Lions, the CEO.
Darth lyricist.
Darth lyricist, yes. He comes up with great lines like that.
You see how good I am.
I don't know. That's Jake Menzel. He's Pastor Jake Menzel, lyricist for My Soul Among Lions, CEO of Warhorn Media. And then we've got Pastor Phil Moyer, who, hi Phil.
CEO of nothing.
CEO of nothing, but one of the chief creative people that have made My Soul Among Lions everything that you know and love. And the chief creator of the song we're talking about today, which is In You I Trust, Psalm 4. I'm looking here on the website. It says lyrics and music by Philip Moyer.
Wow.
So maybe you better start the story today. Phil, what do you remember about this one?
Absolutely nothing. Just in terms of the psalm itself, it's a prayer. He's asking for God to answer him. And so I decided to set it a little more subdued, plaintive, acoustic finger picking, very gentle, pleading, asking for help. And maybe that's one of the criticisms of it. I'm not sure. It's very different from the other version, which I think Jody did, the version with Paloma and
the
video we had.
God of my righteousness.
God of my righteousness.
We'll talk about that next episode.
Yep.
But
and so, just a bit of a different, maybe more personal, I don't want to say, maybe it's the wrong word, weak, but just feeling helpless.
Yeah.
Lord, I need help. Answer me.
Right.
I'm relieve me from my distress. I'm just completely, I'm worn out.
Right.
There are evil people all around me, but Lord, you set the godly apart for yourself.
Right.
Hear me. I did get some help from Jake on this one. I guess that should be, he should be acknowledged in some way for that.
We're all helping.
You're just so good at it that it's like, he didn't take nearly as much time on it as I did.
It didn't feel like it deserved it.
Words don't always come easy for me, so I know I spent a lot of time on this. My approach to it is really, as best as I could, was to just translate the scripture into a song. There are different approaches how you could do it. You could summarize it, paraphrase it.
Right. We've done them
take
all.
bits apart from it, but my approach generally was to try to sing as much of the scripture as possible. It's not a long psalm. It's 8 verses, and so it's more doable to do that, to fit it all into one song.
What I think is interesting musically about this psalm, and I think you can hear this in a lot of what Philip writes. Philip writes with dual purposes in mind when he writes music often, and definitely was writing with dual purposes in writing the music for this one, which is Philip's our choir director. And so Philip always has, maybe not always, but often has in his head, I want this to work for My Soul Among Lions, but also wouldn't it be great if it worked for the choir? And can I hear a choir arrangement as I'm writing this? And I think that this is one of the more obvious psalm settings that Philip has written that is like, he almost wrote this for the choir first.
I don't know.
And then translated it to...
I'm going to be completely honest, as opposed to before.
Right.
But I don't think, maybe that's a subliminal thought, but I don't believe that was my thought.
Right.
Like, I'm going to write a choir piece. I think...
Maybe it's just so in your veins
I
that
think
it
what
feels
it
that
is
way
is
to me.
I've sung a lot of things. I've sung a lot of vocal music and classical music, and so I have melody just in me.
Yeah.
And so you might find maybe my melodies...
You should hear our choir perform Philip's arrangement of this piece.
It's pretty cool.
You might very well like it better than the album version.
We don't have a recording of that I can play right now, do we?
Probably not very hi-fi, but you can get probably enough to give people an idea.
We can at least give you a sense of it.
All right, so we're going to give people a little taste of this. It's not maybe not the best possible version, but here we go.
You're probably right, Jake. Somewhere in there, I'm thinking.
Right.
And there have been a number of songs that I've written that I've done that with. Like Good Shepherd Band had that version of Mary's song, Magnify the Lord.
Yep.
That became a choral piece. And then Song of Simeon, which also became a choral piece.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, maybe somehow my songs lend themselves to that. Or maybe I'm just looking for other uses for my songs.
Right.
Yeah, in some ways I do like the choral versions better in some cases, but
I think of everything we've talked about so far, what strikes me about this in re-examining it is we've talked a few times now on this podcast about making interpretive choices and how, for the famous example was Psalm 2, where you could go really rageful or you could go kind of cheerful, like we had these two versions. This one to me feels the most like it is just the text. You were trying to just give music to just create a feeling. It's very straightforward in a good way, I think. I like this one. Jake, what did you bring to the table? Anything particular?
I think I helped straighten out some lyrics on the back half of the song, second or third verses. And then what I remember, and Philip didn't seem to remember this.
I think you're right. I just didn't remember one bit. So
yeah, the whole coda, wasn't a part of the song as Philip wrote it, and we didn't actually have "Tremble and Do Not Sin."
Which would be sad.
Which would be really sad. It's like the verse. It's what you remember about Psalm 4. And it's sort of similar to a mistake we almost made. Psalm 28 or
19.
20. Psalm 20.
Yeah.
Psalm 20, some trust in chariots.
Yeah.
Where we had a version that didn't highlight that verse. And so I was like, Phil, you got to find a way to get this in there, a bridge, something. And he came back with this really great coda idea that really worked. So just sort of, I think I don't remember exactly what lyrical changes or lines I may have contributed to in the song, but I feel like my main contribution was like, hey, you forgot this big thing. And then he came back with that. I just think it's a really brilliant way to end that song as a result.
Well,
one of those Hey Jude moments.
One of those Hey Jude.
Would you consider that a Hey Jude moment?
Yeah, I like a good outro. I like an extended outro, which this isn't. But any song that has a good outro or a good coda, be it Hey Jude or November Rain or
the coda, and it's also interesting that the coda comes from the middle of the psalm. It's kind of weird, but it works.
That's one of the things that we'll probably do most often, even in the songs that are the most faithful to the original text. We will rearrange things for musical impact.
Yeah.
This
Psalm
chunk
6 is a good
makes a good chorus, etc., etc.
Absolutely.
Well, and I want to speak to what Jake was saying about realizing that it needed that coda. Here's I'm going to draw as many lessons for potential creators because I want other people to go out and write psalms and do other fun creative work. So if you're listening and you're interested in this kind of work, knowing the right solution isn't nearly as important as knowing the right question to ask. So Jake's big contribution, I don't know whether Jake wrote those lyrics or not, but Jake's big contribution to this song was simply saying, hey, why doesn't it have this? And some of the most valuable creative input that you'll get on a project like this or whatever you're doing is someone simply saying, oh, shouldn't it have something like this? And a lot of times that's actually much more, we give the glory to the person that then comes up with the thing. But a lot of times what's really important is to have somebody that asks the right questions. Yeah. Those are the people that I like to look for to collaborate with, is not who's going to have the right answer, because we can all sit there and come up with an answer. But if I'm going to be in a room with people trying to create something, I want the person that's going to ask the right questions. Like, why don't we have this, or shouldn't this be here, or why did we forget about this? That's what you want to look for. So don't be fooled by glitz and glamour, but you got to be a workman to be a creator of any kind of worth. So, and you go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, one of the challenges we came across in the production of this song is, how long can you sustain just an acoustic guitar, finger picking, and this song actually managed to end up being a longer song when it's all, put together with the long coda and things like that.
Right.
We had to kind of think through the arrangement a bit, and I should mention that we had another female singer on this one, which is Rebecca Zellers, now Kepler, lend her beautiful voice.
Absolutely.
And, which I think really just made the song that much more better. And she also played mandolin on it. All of that just helped to keep the song moving and interesting and developing and just beautiful with her sweet voice.
Yeah. I haven't listened to this one for a while. I'd forgotten she was on it, but she adds a lot to it. That's true. Cool. Well, shall we listen to it?
Let's do it.
All right. Hey, people, you're going to hear the plug at the end, but you should go to patreon.com/MSAL to support this work. Help us break that $2,000 mark. That'd be very helpful to us. Sometimes we live on a knife's edge at Warhorn Media in terms of, and all three of the gentlemen on this podcast have some part or all of their salary from the work that we're doing here. So be sure, if you like what we're doing, if you enjoy these podcasts, if you enjoy the music, to go to patreon.com/MSAL. And with that little bit of commerce out of the way, let's listen to Psalm 4 in You I Trust.
Lord, hear me when I call. Relieve me from distress. Be merciful to me, O Lord, my God, my righteousness. How long, you sons of men, who glory in your shame? How long will you pursue deceit and seek for all that's vain? O Lord, you set apart the godly for yourself. I know you'll hear me from afar when I cry to you for help. I know the Lord will give an answer. He will help in time of need. So I will wait upon His power. By His mercy I'll be free. For you alone I will seek after. You will raise me from the dust. Now as I lay my head in silence, in you I hope, in you I trust. Some seek for foolish gain and things that have no worth. But there's no hope in wine or gold, the riches of the earth. My heart is filled with joy. In you I'm satisfied. In peace I will lie down to sleep. In you I will abide. I know the Lord will give an answer. He will help in time of need. So I will wait upon His power. By His mercy I'll be free. For you alone I will seek after. You will raise me from the dust. Now as I lay my head in silence, in you I hope, in you I trust. Be still and trust in Him. Tremble and do not sin. Be still and trust in Him. Oh, my soul, tremble and do not sin. Be still and trust in Him. Oh, my soul, tremble and do not sin. Be still and trust in Him.
Hey, if you like this song and you want to buy it, you can buy it on iTunes or Amazon or Bandcamp. You can go right now and listen to it on Spotify or Apple Music. If you want charts, lead sheets, it's all available for free at clearnotesongbook.com. And if you want to support this work and get access to great new content as we write and produce new songs, go to patreon.com/MSAL, where you can sign up for as little as a cup of coffee a month.